Okay, I think I'm ready to talk about this. Hey guys, TManDude291 here, and I'll admit I'm kind of lost. For what I am to do with my channel, anyway. I started this channel as a sort of variety gaming show, and I posted gameplay in the early days because that is what I could edit together at the time. Believe me when I say I had some of the worst software to work with in the early days of the channel, not to mention a hand-me-down camera from my father, which was from the late 90s. And as this channel has grown, and as I have a greater understanding of the platform of YouTube from a creator's side instead of from a viewer's side, like I have been for years up to that point, as such, I've come to grips with two facts. First, gameplay is diving without entertaining people behind them on the platform. And second, I'm not an entertaining person when it comes to gameplay. In the moment of play, I am too concentrated on what I am doing to give much commentary. I do, however, find myself with a lot to say on the games I play. Most, if not all, of the conversations I have with people is on video games, movies, comics, and anime. And while I have just as much for my other interests, and the more and more I think about it, the more I realize I need to change something I've always wanted to do, but I was never really able to pull off, and that is reviews. I want to tell people what I think about the things I love as a way for myself to process what it is that I play and watch. This works in hands with the other goal of mine, to help people learn of great gems and to help people learn of great games they might take interest in for one reason and another. And of course, that also works with other things such as movies or comics that people might have never heard of, and just trying in order to extend what it is that people enjoy, essentially. So, yeah, welcome to the first ever review on the channel. But what to start with? No, I'm not going to play the innocent. You all know why you're here. You read the title. You are all here to watch me, the massive Sonic nerd, tear Sonic Forces to shreds. However, that's not the purpose of this video. Now, before you go clicking off, yes, this game is not what we expected, and it has definitely got more than a few problems, and I intend to go over this game with both the good and the bad over a few categories before giving it a score out of 5. I'll go over my rating system when I get to that point. Anyway, for me, games come down to a few factors. 1. How I heard about the game and what the history I, as an individual, have with the title or series. 2. How does the game present itself in the visuals? 3. Story. What kind of driving forces are going into our experience as a gamer? 4. Gameplay. How the game handles and how you feel as the player when you are in control. And finally, 5. What kind of music are we dealing with? Is it an original score or is it a licensed soundtrack? How good is it? Hopefully, all of this will be answered and more while I go through Sonic Forces. Needless to say, I am a huge Sonic nerd. I play a bunch of the games, both the good and the bad. I saw the rise and fall of the Archie comics, as well as the change up to IDW, and I grew up with the Sat AM, Sonic Says, Sonic Underground, and Sonic X TV series. So when I learned that a stream was going to be happening for the 25th birthday of Sonic back in 2016, I was all for it, and I watched the whole thing. And I mean the whole thing. And while I still think that Sonic Adventure 3 is happening and that it's just in development hell, I understand that we won't be hearing about it again for a while. What I didn't expect was a trailer they dropped right at the very end. A new Sonic game with boost gameplay and classic Sonic? And what the heck is the NX? Of course, the NX turned out to be the Nintendo Switch, and when I learned what the Switch was, I knew I had to have it. And I knew that if I had it, I was going to get Sonic games for it when they came out. So go figure, I got Sonic Mania and loved the hell out of it. Nintendo dropped Mario Odyssey, and then a week later, Sonic Forces also dropped. I picked up both on the same day at Target and beat both of them over one weekend I had off from my job at the time. To say the very least, it met some of my expectations, but dropped the ball on other factors that I was not too happy about.
What's up, everyone? I missed this place.
What happened, Sonic? You two just up and disappeared.
Nothing happened. Literally. Now let's track down Eggman.
One of the things that did blow me out of the water, though, was the visuals and presentation of the game. It looks amazing all the way through, and most of the level designs are really fun to play. But we'll get to gameplay later. Hedgehog Engine 2.0 really looks good. And this is on the Switch, people. For now, I haven't played this in 4K, but I have a feeling anyone who will can agree that the game looks awesome. Furthermore, I really like the character designs this time around, or at least the models of what we are used to for the characters looking like these days. I would be open to new designs of the cast as long as they don't go the boom route and change like the overall character silhouette, you know, like Knuckles being a big, buff, burly, steroid-looking dude. For me, the characters have great looks, but if we got some kind of outfit variation between games, like upgrades you earn in the levels, kind of like back during the days of Sonic Adventure 2, I think that would be really great and would help out, but it's, again, personal taste and nothing that I really want to see or expect. And that pulls me into my third point, story. Having slight visual changes in characters can help to tell a story of what's going on, or even what happened between games. This game, however, really dropped the ball on the story this time around. First off, it's expected that you at least know the true ending of Sonic Mania to explain why Classic Sonic is there. Here's the thing though, it starts off really strong. Dr. Eggman has made an object called the Phantom Ruby, which has the ability to warp the reality of the world. Granted, it's not powerful enough to do anything like the Genesis Wave from the Archie run of the comics, but it can still make copies of characters that look real enough to make others think they are the real deal. And we know from Sonic Mania that the Ruby can also warp characters between locations and apparently dimensions. And I would love to see the Sonic multiverse be explored via the Ruby in future titles. We also learn about Infinite, and this is where the story becomes a problem. I want to love Infinite, I really do, but the character was handled so poorly. First off, Twitter made it sound like Infinite was a character that we already knew from a previous video game title that was corrupted by the Ruby and turned into Infinite. And that is why the character wears the mask, because if we, the player, saw the face, then we would know who they really were. And the whole game, I was waiting to see the mask come off and get the big reveal, but we never did. From what I could tell, this corruption idea might have been an early developer idea that got scrapped, and the story direction was changed with what they could work with. Also, side note, we see Chaos in like this opening shot and one other cutscene involving Tails, but we never fight him. It makes me think this game had a bunch of content that was cut or scrapped. Like the hell, Sega? Back to Infinite. He kicks Sonic's ass in the opening shot, so we do get a sense of the character's power, and that is great. And then Sonic is captured. Again, works really well. Sonic is being tortured, and we have to control the rookie that we made to go and save his life. Awesome! Shot of Sonic in his cell about to break out, and shows no fucking damage from the supposed torture. I get you guys that you have to keep a game rating. I really do. But this is just laughably bad. You can at least show Sonic with some exhaustion or fatigue to get the message around like, hey, Eggman is really doing this shit to Sonic. But no, he's just sitting there, dropping the ball yet again. And then we have the shadow missions, which take place before the game. I have a huge issue story-wise with these levels. The main game makes it seem like that Infinite was something created along with the Phantom Ruby by Eggman, something that exists that can wield it. Even when he's defeated, he vanishes like he was part of the Ruby. The shadow levels make it seem like he was a soldier working for Eggman that became Infinite. after he lost to Shadow and was humiliated. You can't have conflicting stories, Sega. It only confuses your audience about what's going on. In fact, I have so much to say on this from a story standpoint that I am working in the background right now on a Sonic Stories episode to make a better story for Infinite than what Sega could throw together. Of course, that's going to be coming after the one that is already backlogged that I am waiting on a buddy of mine in order to help me out with voice acting for. Stay tuned for that. And the whole game is like this. Half-baked, half-explained, kind of leaving it to the IDW team, IDW Team Sonic to solve it for them. To which case, the IDW comics expect you to have beat Sonic Forces before reading it. I know that the comics are now canon and woven in with the games, but when your game is handled so poorly with its story and then goes into something that is very heavily story-based and is really fucking good, it just pisses off more people. Thankfully, most of the gameplay is the saving grace for this game. Boost gameplay has been perfected. Enough said. Sonic levels are great, and it's what people who enjoy boost gameplay have always wanted. Granted, some of the level designs are a bit wonky, but I don't take that much issue with it. The levels with Rookie are also really fun. There are some levels that can go and suck a dick though. Any level with a shoddy wall jumping and the floating platforms are the biggest gripes I have with it. However, I do have problems with the options of customization. I feel that what we got was too small. And granted, what we got was actually pretty good, but compared to some other things I've played, it is comparably small. I mean, not as small as something like Destiny, where some people argue that there is enough customization in that already. There really isn't for your starting customization. Good God, people. Luckily, though, there are some easy fixes. First off, make it so that race is not connected to ability. This limits players' creativity and playstyle, especially when you get down to speedrunning and game-breaking metas. Also, more race options would be appreciated. There's a vast number of sub-races and Mobians, so why not give us all the options? And it would be much easier to pull off if all the powers were also separated, as I've mentioned. Furthermore, a full RGB system would add to the character designs overall. And it's not that hard either. Many games have found ways to incorporate it in the past, and so why not this one? And of course with games, I would be saying stuff like SL or even character creators that your fans have made have been able to figure it out. None of this pseudo, here's a bunch of the stuff that you would normally find. Sure, they're visually pleasing, but a lot of other than that, having full RGB would definitely help just for the creativity of the player. Other than that, some hairstyles or subcoloring would go a long way. The item and outfit system is really well thought out though. Maybe some outfit variety besides recolors, but other than that, not much to improve. I also enjoyed the duel levels. The mechanics and animations are believable, and the levels are a nice balance of what Sonic and Rookie can do. Also, Rookie is how you do a good silent protagonist. He/she doesn't speak at all, and the things just seem to happen around them. It's not South Park levels of a good silent protagonist, but it is still good overall. My real gripes with this game are the classic Sonic stages, to which I can just say, what the fuck happened? Could you not get Chris to help out with the levels? You mastered the feeling of classic Sonic back in Generations and a game before in Mania, so how do you make so bad in this game? Controlling classic Sonic is like trying to maneuver a tank when you really need a fucking jet. Not to mention the levels are not fun to play, especially the ones in the later half of the game. The boss fights are fine, but that's really all classic Sonic has going for him. Speaking of boss fights, I feel like they were a bit rushed. The Zavok fight, yes, fucking Zavok is the only unique fight, that and one interestingly unique fight against Infinite. But other than that, it is for the most part the same running at the character and dodging attacks before countering with your own attack. Sure, there are these 2D fights as well that the avatar gets involved with, but other than that, they are just like short mini-bosses and are just dodging fests.
Dodge! Dodge!
Oh well. Let's get back to something I really enjoyed this time around. The music. This brings me right back to the style of Crush 40 with a modern spin on it, and I love it. Tomoya Otani, I'm really hoping I'm pronouncing that right, really outdid himself this time around, and how the songs are incorporated fits in with the overall game. This time around, the music really feels like it's coming over your comm system that the characters use to talk to you mid-mission. So it feels a bit like a radio, and I really enjoy that. To which case, Sega, please, 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 next game, have a radio show host like in Jet Set Radio, playing the tunes of your missions as a sort of sound of the resistance. It will give us a new character to mess with, and it would also be way, way more immersive. So with all that said, I would say pick up the game if you're a Sonic fan, not for the story, but for the gameplay that we at least got. If you're outside of the fandom of the Sonic games, you will have more fun spending $20 for Sonic Mania than double the price for Sonic Forces. Overall, I gave Sonic Forces a 3 out of 5. It's not bad, but it's not all that good either. But I just hope that Sega can bounce back from this and blow our socks off in the next main title for Sonic games and build off the narrative we are getting in the IDW comics. Also, whenever the hell we end up getting Sonic Adventure 3, you better not drop the ball, guys, because you have so many fans wanting in order to make sure that that game is great. Oh, and before I forget, here's a picture of how my rating system works. I hope you can read it. I'll work on a better image at a later date. I've put too much time into this video as it is. Anyway, like seriously, I've been working on this for over a week and a half now. I do not have the time in order to edit together an image right now in order to add on a thing, and I really need to get this out. So for now, this is the best you're going to get. I might do something a little bit more in depth later on down the line. Anyways, yeah. Those are my thoughts and everything that when it goes into Sonic Forces. Hopefully, as this review's going a little bit longer, I'll get a better idea of style of what I'll be doing, as well as being able to make things a little bit more in-depth. So, yeah. More reviews to come, and obviously more Sonic stories to come whenever the heck people finally get back to me with the actual stuff I am waiting on. Other than that, I think we're pretty much done. So, comment down below what you thought of Sonic Forces and how this video sucks so I can improve. Trust me, always looking for suggestions. You can also head down into the description below in order to check out my YouTube and Patreon pages for, well, you know, supporting the YouTube channel and, of course, supporting the book I am writing, which has a lot of different types of writing, in which case, if you think my scripts are complex, oh boy, just wait till you read some of the stuff I've created, because it's nutty, and I'm hopefully going to be able to start posting chapters out over onto the Patreon page for the stories soon enough. As I keep on mentioning in these videos, all of my data got deleted and I had to start over. Anyway, other than that, make sure to throw a like on the video so it can get spread around and people can enjoy. And if you happen to enjoy this video, then why not subscribe and hit that little bell so you can get notified whenever I upload another video, because, you know, subscriber blindness and YouTube and the YouTube subscription page not even acting like it's supposed to. Anyways, more reviews to come, so until next time, guys, this is TManDude291 signing out.